I'm never gonna get tired of that. I mean, realistically, what's not to love? What is up, guys? MACABESPEED coming at you. Great episode for you on the SF30. I'm really excited about this one. The reason why I wanted to go ahead and put this specific episode out for you guys is because it's something that I've wanted to address for a very long time. Initially, when I developed my old school SF30 magazines, in, extra bump, bolt, release, home. Easy! A lot of first gen products, they inherently had a couple of issues. First off, they were direct impingement magazines, meaning all of the slugs stacked up next to each other, one after the other, with the follower directly behind them all in a stacked up effect. Nothing to separate them, nothing to get them where they were going effectively or prevent jams. Second thing we noticed was that the magazine itself just wasn't staying in place correctly. So I wanted to go ahead and rectify both of those things. YouTube is up to its old tricks right now, so I'm not able to show you as far as actual magazines being printed and such, but I will take you guys out to the range and test this brand new style of magazine that I want to show you. One thing I did want to kind of touch on before we get out there though, is there was kind of a hot take in the last video, and some people definitely were upset about it. Based on the fact that I hate reviewers. I fucking hate reviewers. Like, so much. I see what the underbelly of content creation is, and the people who are trying to push you to a link to check out to purchase something. All I can say is I absolutely stand by my comment in the sense that in my mind, a reviewer is someone who is going to do anything that's possible to make whatever product they've been compensated to show you look as good as possible, right? Just in the hopes that you, the consumer, would buy it. And that, in my mind, is what the reviewer is that I meant in that statement. It's not meant at any specific person. And if you were a butthurt, I don't know, maybe it applied to you, right? But I absolutely doubled down on that statement as far as I hate reviewers like that who won't show you the true, actual, good and bad factual performance of a product. That's all I got to say. Let's not waste too much time and get this guy right out to the range. All right, guys, as promised, didn't want to go ahead and just give you a vlog episode on this one. 100% wanted to take this out to the range, test this like a man, see if it really works, really does its thing on the range in the light of day, right? It's the best way to go ahead and prove it. So I figured we'll go ahead and load these guys up, get these magazines set up to where I think they're going to run, and then we'll go ahead and test them out. I'm going to go ahead and start by using the exact approved ammunition for these magazines, which is NICS NSA 49.5 grain slugs. Gotta love that stuff from NSA, man. It just looks so good. If you don't like that, you must be crazy. I expect success here. 49.5 grain slugs, BeltDrive magazines, significantly improving the function over the original direct impingement followers. I feel like this is a good methodology to try and get a good idea truly in the end zone. Let's see what happens. Really easy on these also to go ahead and just load them in through the back of the mag. Just kind of giving them a quick push into the belt and then pulling that belt down sequentially, one at a time, loading them. I don't have to count them or do anything special. I'm just putting them in place until the follower itself kind of bottoms out, and you'll feel it when you can't put any more. That's going to be your spot right there. Here's the chopper. Now, let's go over the SF30 a little bit before we stuff this mag into the side of it. The SF30 is a semi-automatic and bolt action platform that is so complicated it is absolutely counterintuitive. AEA could have absolutely done without the bolt action function 100% and confused a whole lot less people. So I'm going to go over this with you step by step and show you exactly what the usability is so that you don't end up throwing this thing in the ocean on your end. Down here, you're going to have a switch. That switch is going to say semi and single. It's always going to want to start in single. Put it in single. Pull this little lever release right here. And then move this slider underneath while holding this stupid little thing into the semi-automatic position. Now, the bolt moves freely. If you do it any other way, decock it, single, and just try and put it on semi, you will not be able to move the bolt. Put it on single, the gate comes back up. It will not function in semi. Lever, bottom switch, pull, now it's semi-automatic. I gotta say, this is the worst design ever as far as selecting your fire methodology I've ever seen. So many people hate this. Into the breech. Go ahead and give that bolt a helping hand home. That's the way these magazines are intended to run, and even though a lot of you guys out there may have had problems shooting slugs in the regular magazines, these magazines are going to have no problem cycling those 49.5 grain slugs from NSA. Now if you noticed, I was a little bit slower on my cyclic rate, boom, 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 than I typically would be on most of my semi-automatic stuff. Why is that? It's because this semi-automatic is regulated. It's connotated by the fact it's got 2 gauges on it. This is my main tank pressure up here, and it's going to be showing me the full value, the pressure I have on hand. Down here, past this regulated piece of the puzzle at this point right here, this gauge is going to show me what my regulated, tapered down pressure is going to be post-regulator. If I shoot too fast, this plenum will become depleted and have no more pressure left to cycle the action, rendering the gun useless. The other thing you might notice about this versus the factory mag is the factory mag allows you to dry fire into oblivion because nobody thought far enough into the future to be able to give you a stop in the magazine. This eliminates that, and it does actually hold the magazine back exactly the way it would in a firearm when a firearm runs dry. Pull the bolt back, hit the hook selector on this side. Now the bolt stays open. Pull your magazine out of your gun. How much do you love it? Do you love it? Drop a like if you love it. Now to go ahead and run with these approved NSA 49.5 grain slugs is one thing, but a lot of people out there really complain about the fact that they're stuck using only one ammunition. So what I want to go ahead and do is go a couple of sizes up in weight and a couple of sizes down in weight, sticking with the slug projectiles that a lot of people have had problems with in the factory mags. This is going to prove for us not only these magazines cycle slugs, but they'll cycle multiple weights for you. It's going to give you a lot more options than just the 49.5s. Let's see what happens. I like going up in weight before I go down in weight. So let's go to 54.5 first. Give it a little bit more grain weight on each round. Now, when I designed these, I wanted to really try and give you guys something that was forgiving. The other magazines, people had problems with. I received a lot of emails from people saying, hey, you know what? This is hard to tune. It only works with one kind of slug. Sometimes it doesn't run in my gun. I wanted to go ahead and eliminate the excuses for people, so it was very, very, very important to me that this belt drive be correct. Because this magazine is just a little bit more forgiving than the original design, I do think that we're going to have success with using different ammunition, and I think that's what a lot of people were complaining about. Before we load it, let's check and see where we're at. So I'm at 4,000 PSI total tank value, and my regulator is approximately 24 to 2,500 PSI. This is where I have found that this specific gun cycles well. Your mileage may vary. If I have to be totally honest about it, personally, I don't like regulators at all. Didn't even need to help at that time. The 54.5s might work well. They work good. Really trying to take my time, let that regulator catch up. 54.5 grain slugs, work. Good to go. This is going well. This is going well. What are we going to go down? Let's go down in weight now. 47.2. 47.2 NSA. What happens now? Let's see. Let's see. Where's my pressure on my regulator and my gauges? This is important. About 2,400 PSI on the regulator, still looking at just under 4,000 PSI on the main tank. 20 shots in on the fill. 20 shots in on the mag test. No jams. 47.2 grain slugs. After a successful test of both 49.5 as well as 54.5. Honestly, this is going better than expected. Considering the fact that I've already broken an S45 Fat Boy and my Airgun today, this is seeming pretty successful. Really easy. Super cool, man. I'm glad that this is working well. Oop, above that bar again. Above that little rod. Good to go. I am having a hard time seeing a failure at this point. I'm actually pretty happy with this. This gives me the fizz. This is the best video as far as success with a machine that I've had all day long. I know it's kind of a theme on this channel that I bring stuff out here and just break it. But by the same token, when I actually get something to run good, it feels incredible. I really like this. This is really good. This is going good. This is going good. What do you do when stuff's going good? Try and break it. Try and break it. Keep with the theme. Keep with the theme, right? Let's go ahead and load up the best 30 caliber pellets that I personally know of. The Emperor Lights from Daystate. The Daystate Emperor Lights. They're 303 in caliber, little bit big, but they're absolutely precision pellets, skirted pellets, not slugs. If a skirted pellet will run in this magazine, I think we've finally given the people every single thing they've asked for, up to and including being able to shoot skirted pellet projectiles out of a pellet gun. It's like gold, man. It's like looking at a pile of gold right there. Emperor Lights, Daystate Emperor Lights. I don't know if this is going to work. Skirted projectiles are very, 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 very difficult to get to run in a linear magazine. That's why you see airgun companies make rotary magazines, because rotary magazines are easy and airgun companies are about profit. So, hits. So when I see a skirted projectile, I'm like, oh, almost unilaterally, it's going to end up in a rotary mag. If we can see that this skirted projectile will actually function and run and cycle in a stick linear fed mag, that's, I don't know, is it kind of a first? Throw it down in the comments. There we go. Daystate pellet. First test ever, skirted projectile, stick mag. Throw it down in the comments right now if you think I'm going to fail or succeed. What's my pressure? 3,700 PSI on the main tank. I think we have enough to do this. Or I should say, 3,700 PSI on the main tank. If it doesn't do it, pressure won't be the reason why it failed. No edits. That was an entire magazine of skirted projectiles from a stick style magazine with no jams. The only thing I can do is recreate the test one more time to actually prove the validity of it and see what happens one more time. I mean, this is uncharted territory for me. This is uncharted territory for me. This platform was hated on heavily because of three things: the complexity of the semi-automatic function, the inconsistency of the regulator, which I'm already actually seeing is starting to creep down towards 2200 PSI, and the poor quality magazines that came with it that not only had a tendency to fail, but also couldn't lock you out. I'm gonna go ahead and load this guy up and see if we've really overcome every single thing the factory couldn't do for us. You're my witness, dude.
Yeah, I was here.
TikTok's back.
What?
TikTok's back.
No way.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Let's go. TikTok. Let's go. 3000 PSI on the main tank, 2400 PSI on the regulator. Just got the word that TikTok is back and we still haven't experienced a jam. If we get through these 10 rounds right here, that's gonna be 50 shots on one fill with unorthodox ammunition in brand new belt mags. You guys got, God, you gotta love it. Come on, successful. Come on, successful. Out of ammo, dry fire, decocked it. That's a winner, bro. It's a winner. It's an absolute winner. That's 50 shots. 50 shots on one tank with 0 jams in no edits in 50 shots. I haven't broken it yet. I feel really bad about that. I actually feel like I need to try and like generate a failure. How could I do this so that I can generate a failure? I have some 68 grain, almost 70 grain slugs versus the 45, 48 grain slugs we've been shooting so far. You guys want to put some 70 grain slugs in it, 68s, and see if it works then? Let's see. These bad boat tails, the 70 grain Flanagan's, old school Flanagan's ammunition, doesn't even make them anymore, not even in business anymore. And I still have a handful. So you know what? I want to give this thing the best chance for success. Fill it up real quick, get it back to about 3,500, 4,000 PSI on the main tank. Fill the stick mag up with these big boat tails and see if we have the same unrelenting success. Because I mean, hell, if you guys can choose any ammunition you want effectively and put them in this thing and run it like this, that's going to make a lot of people incredibly happy. Booyah. Okay. Typical style, gun on the ground. Rounds through the back. Ooh, they barely fit, but they do fit. They do physically actually fit the magazine. So because they fit in the magazine and because they're 30 caliber, they better work. I'm excited. This is extremely promising. Like all the way around. Did I put one in backwards? Yeah, that's backwards. These are really big. I don't know if this is going to run right. I guess we'll see. I've had nothing but success. I've had nothing but success. I hope in my heart. Man, I hope this goes the exact same way. Tiny bit of a jam there. Again, a tiny bit of a jam there. Hook in the gun. Told you I'd get a failure out of it. I told you guys I would show you what it couldn't do. I absolutely promised that I would make every effort in my power to go ahead and get something to go wrong so we could see the limits of the machine. If I don't take it to the limit, I guarantee you nobody else on YouTube is gonna. So this is my job. This is my job. I hope you boys enjoy. Okay. 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 So this magazine absolutely does not like these big boat tails. Just straight up, period. And I'm okay with that. I'm realistically okay with that, because to go through 50 shots, each magazine being a different ammunition, having success, and then bring the projectile weight up 25% and establish a failure, I think we're seeing the operational limits of the magazine, and that's got to be a good thing. Confirmation magazine, 49.5 grain, the ultimate recommended ammunition for this magazine. That is the go-to slug that I like for this gun. Test it out, make sure we didn't actually break something by force feeding it large slugs for dinner. Okay, so everything still seems to be in decent order. It's still cocked because I can still move the safety. It's still on semi-automatic because the bolt still moves freely. Into the breech. Home. I think this is absolutely stellar. Not only have we gone ahead and shown that this will run multiple types of ammunition, including the skirted pellets that so many people out there seem to enjoy for these type of platforms, but we've also found out exactly where you're going to run into problems, which is going to be with big, bad, high contact slugs like the 68 grain boat tails. As far as this episode is concerned, if you don't like this one, I don't consider you a real air gunner. And I don't consider this a real review unless we answer every single question that we set out to. It's so funny, you know, you get so sidetracked in the actual verification of making sure that it's functional that you forget one of the operative questions. Second thing we noticed was that the magazine itself just wasn't staying in place correctly. So we have the standard morning, typical cup of noodles breakfast. And I've also got these magazines that we had out at the range with us. These are the red followers as opposed to the yellow, because people seem to like the red better than the yellow. But by the same token, I want to do everything necessary to go ahead and get these mechanically locked into the rifle the way that the S45 does. I mean, the S45 is one of the only high-power PCPs that uses a removable magazine that has that style of a latch lock, and it seems to work incredibly well. In all of the failures I've seen with an S45, I've never seen one spit a mag out. So they have something going right for them, and I kind of want to emulate that style. All right, guys, this is how we sit in front of us at this point. This is the current status of the magazines. Test mag number 1. I've got 4 of them made up. And as you might be able to see here, there's a little bit of an angle down right on the top of the magazine. It's not completely straight. It actually goes down about 2 degrees right at the very beginning of this magazine to help it seat in. And on the top of it, you might see a little bit of a scuff right there. That's because right here on this mag well, it's actually designed to have an interference fit. Let's go ahead and check it out. So belt goes under the bar, and then right at the top right there, you can kind of just see that it noses in there. Now once it's at that point of being completely seated like this, it's basically just relying on friction as well as the cyclic action of the bolt itself to keep it in place. Wanted to do a little bit better than that. Now the really cool thing about this whole idea is the fact that I've already actually got a working design in the S45 TAC Mag kit as far as having a click release is concerned. This release works really, really, really good, and that's in an upcoming video for you guys, but the actual mechanical design of it already put together. Let's go ahead and see if we can't draw something up to adapt this design to this platform. All right, dudes, this actually came out really, really, really good. YouTubers being absolutely haters on the fact that I can't really show you any of the production of what it took to go ahead and get this, but 4 hours of CAD and 3 hours of printing later, this is what I come up with. This is what I come up with. What do you think? What do you think? It doesn't have the lever, and it doesn't have like the heat sets set into it yet, and it doesn't have any of the fiber optics, and it doesn't have any of the hardware fastening, any of the actual like finishing touches that take it from being a base object to a finish object. But inside of that, we got it done. We got it done. We got it done, right? So this is exactly what I was talking about. We did go ahead and facilitate the ability to hopefully accept the magazine still while keeping it retained by a spring-loaded mechanical fastener there. And if this all fits together the way it looked like it wanted to in my CAD program, we should be in for a good time. Let's get this assembled. All right, guys, I'm really, Really, really proud of this. Here we are, fully assembled. You can see I gave you guys a little bit more rail space than the previous generation. Not quite enough to put a red dot and a magnifier on this previous style. I was like, it's such a pain in the ass not to be able to have that option. It's giving you a little bit more rail space here. I think the main operative fact is we got this great spring-loaded latch, and I really hope this works. I hope this fits. Hope everything ends up getting dialed in the way it looked like it would in the CAD drawing. But let's slip it on and see if it actually works as good as it looks. And that fiber optic's hot. I love it. Loving that fiber optic. Good to go, dude. The moment you've all been waiting for. Okay, so I'm close. Just now realizing partially why these S45 magazines work so well like that is because they actually have a detent. All right, dudes. As you saw, I think we actually need to take this one step further as far as the completion of the idea and getting it into the end zone is concerned, because you know what? I realized as I was trying to insert the mag there, the only reason the S45 magazine works so well to locate those mags is because there's a puzzle piece detent that fits underneath that lever lock on the S45 magazines. It's hella late at night right now, and I've been working all day. You know, multiple jobs, multiple times, 24/7, all the time. So it's not going to happen tonight, but I will do a little bit of CAD drawing and get something started for us so that we have a print to look at when I wake up in the morning, and we'll see how close we are. All right, dudes, this is what we came up with. This is our original SF30 BeltDrive magazine. This is his final iteration, updated BeltDrive SF30 HPSS magazine. And I'm very proud of this. I'm very proud of this one, right? And if you enjoy this nice lens that I personally love so much, make sure you leave a like. This lens is brand new in the collection and I do like it very much. So if you like it as much as I do, leave a like. The key difference between these two magazines, as you can see, is going to be this guy right here. There's no cutout over here. There is a cutout over here. What does that do for us? Just go ahead and lock the bolt back. Now, as you can see, the bolt is held back as the factory intends, and this is where it gets really cool. This spring-loaded lever up here is going to catch that small recessed cutout right there and fit inside just like a key in a lock. Hopefully this will be able to keep everything located when we really start to run this thing and ring it out. That is so slick. That is so damn slick. Oh my God, see it again. Belt just goes under that little bar. That is so good. I'm never gonna get tired of that. I mean, realistically, what's not to love? And it is solid. This is secure. I'm shaking an air rifle by the breech at this point, and it's not coming undone. So I do think it is a cool winning system. And whenever I want to go ahead and remove this, I just go ahead and easy peasy, man. That's good. That's good. This really addresses that secondary problem of magazine location and ejection that the first generation magazines and even sometimes the factory magazines deal with. The ability to go ahead and lock this into place with a physical mechanism that mechanically holds it, the true spring-loaded lever lock style fastener. I mean, it's extremely good lockup once again. So I think that this is going to be a successful design. The other really good thing about it is even though we've added the functionality of staying in the rifle, we've done nothing to actually change the internal working of the magazine that fed it all 50 rounds, 50 shots, sequentially, no jams on film in this episode. Now, the good thing about going back to the drawing board and really getting this right with the lever lock is I was able to actually go ahead and build in one more feature I think you guys are really going to appreciate. It's actually two more features, but it works on the same feature principle. This is a rebuildable magazine. If you look at this side of the magazine here, you're going to see a flat flange head screw. If you remove that, it's very easy to go ahead and pull everything out of here and replace this rubber piece if you ever run into a point where that bolt goes ahead and blows through it. As you see, I just got a little dimple on mine and it's not having any issues as far as wear is concerned, but I've only got 50 to 70 shots through each one of my magazines at this point. So if it does end up in a position where you guys need to rebuild it, wanted to go ahead and give you that option. Now the other piece of this puzzle is going to be this guy over here. This is a hand-tight trap door. Why do you need a hand-tight trap door on a magazine? So that when you go ahead and unscrew it, you have a cavity down there which is going to go ahead and hold all of the ammunition required to reload this thing once it runs dry. So this is going to hold enough 30 caliber slugs to fill the entire magazine back up. And it's a passive channel right there, right? No spring loaded, no fancy anything, real simple, real effective, but really serving a purpose for people who want something that's, you know, effective without a lot of moving parts, right? But inside of that, sometimes the simplest solutions with the least moving parts, you know, no spring loaded followers, just a passive channel that holds slugs and a thumb screw to go ahead and keep it all together. That might do better for you in the field long term than a more complicated, complex design that has a lot of moving parts. All right, guys, I think it's going to be an absolutely great place to go ahead and end this episode. But if you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe for more with that notifications button so you can stay current on the channel as well as when these videos come out. If you really like what you saw today, make sure you share it so that somebody else can see it. And I'll catch you boys in the next one.